What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Kinstretch class brought to you by Stretch Effect. My name is Coach Luke, and I'll be taking you through today's 25-minute upper body focused class. So today's class is going to be a little bit different. We're really just focused on the upper body as a whole, but primarily for people that tend to spend a lot of time at a desk, at a table, sleeping in a chair, maybe you're sitting in a car, maybe you have a lot of flights where you tend to be in a more forward flex position. Today is really just going to focus on opening everything up with some cars, and then we'll throw in some tails and rails for shoulder abduction, which is taking those shoulders back, really opening them up here, and then we'll finish up with some shoulders. So let's get right into it. We'll start with the cervical cars. We're going to two each direction. So you can stand in collapse in position. You can go tall kneeling, standing, seated, whatever works best for you. On my hands at my sides, I'm going to reach down, trying to punch the floor with my fist here. I'm going to pull my chin in my chest. I'm just going to slowly rotate to my right. Chin to collarbone. Ear goes over the shoulder. I put water out my ear. Over the top. Come down, chin to collarbone. Rotate through. Let's go one more time. Chin to collarbone. Ear goes over the shoulder. Shoulders down. Keep that full body contraction, full body tension. Come through and reverse. We go chin to collarbone. Ear comes over my shoulder. Rotate chin to the sky. Ear over my other shoulder. Drop my chin. And through one more time to the left. Keep that body tension. Keep the shoulders down. Make sure not to shrug, especially if you're going top. Here, drop down. And come through. Go to a tall kneeling position. So just have the knees down. Squeeze the glutes. Take a breath in. Pack that air down. Get a good full body contraction through the torso. My hands at my side. Now I'll go open palms. Right on the sides of my legs. So imagine your middle finger is running right down the seam of your shorts or your pants if you have one. If not, you can just imagine a straight line running down your legs. And then from there, I'm going to strut up in my ears. Come forward. Pull down. Back. Up. One more time. Over. Down. Pull back. Squeeze my shoulder blades. Keep my hands at my sides. Up. Get to the top. And then let's reverse. So keep your hands here. Pull straight back. Down. And forward. So those hands stay on our sides. They can move up and down. Just don't let the arms slide forward or back. Really just isolate those shoulders. It's good. We have 2 reps there. I'm going to go 2 reps from tall kneeling shoulder cars. So I'm going to have my left hand on my rib cage just for my knees to stay tight. I'm packed through my ribs, through my torso, through my lower body. I'm taking my right hand externally rotate so my palm is facing out to the side. I will come across. Elbows stay locked out. Body stays still. Break the eyebrow with the bicep, come up as high as you can into flexion. Once I run a room here, so internally rotate the shoulder, reach back, come around, turn that hand over, try to max out the rotation, not only the global rotation of the shoulder, but also the rotation in the capsule. So as I'm here, I'm maxing out the internal rotation in the actual joint itself, and then go back. So thumb comes as high as I can to extension, come over the top, down, across, back to my start position, and just reverse one more time. Up, over, around, down, and reverse. That's high in extension, thumbs tight to the body. Make sure the chest doesn't rotate, make sure you don't lose tension throughout the rest of the body. Come down, and through, and let's reverse. Or sorry, let's switch. So we go left arm. Palm faces out, so I'm externally rotating. Rotate down, I'm going to get full body contraction, squeeze the glutes. Cross the body, straight elbow. Bicep straight to the ear. Rotate, reach back, keep the chest still. Keep turning that arm over, slide back, the hand touches my side. Now the thumb straight up in the air. Reverse that rotation, now come all the way across the body. And to my start position, we got one more time. Reach across, straight elbow, bicep rotates, so it's not just the hand, but the whole bicep. Maxes out the rotation of the shoulder capsule. Come down and tap. Now let's reverse. Reach back, thumb goes as high as it can. Turn out of the room. Rotate over, across the body, palm rotates up. Down and through. So now let's go to our cat-cow position. That's our linear spinal flexion and extension. So it's a good position to spend a lot of time in flexion. It kind of helps you kind of open that position, but also reverses the position into extension. So we're going to do our segmental flexion extension. So we've done it before. We're going to start up in flexion. Try to tuck your tailbone, round out. And then I'm just working one vertebrae at a time to extend. So I'm trying to lift my tailbone. And then I'm just going to work slowly up my spine, trying to extend from one vertebrae at a time. Just trying to maximally extend each vertebrae as you work all the way up to extension. And here. There, I will flex the tailbone, so try to tuck under. All the way back up into full flexion of the spine. Squeeze it out. Wringing out a towel. Trying to put some motion. There's some blood flow, but it's locked into nutrients to that spine. We all need a little bit more spine. Let's go one more time. Start the tailbone both times. You could start at the upper back to work back into extension, lower back into flexion. And now it's just a little bit easier to work. Starting from the tailbone both times. Let that chest, T-spine extension. We're gonna focus on that next. Here, one more time. Start tailbone. Just work all the way slowly. Put your brain into each individual vertebrae, each individual segment of your spine. Feel each one press up as you work back into flexion. And all the way back flex. Squeeze it out. Squeeze those abs. Try to squeeze a little bit more flexion and relax. Very good. Now we're going to go into what's called a lumbar locked cat-cow, or just a lumbar locked T-spine cat-cow. So you can be in this position here. You want to take a block or two if you can't go all the way onto your heels. You can walk on the side, you can stack 2 blocks here. Anything that kind of allows you to be comfortable here so we can focus as much on the cat-cow as possible. So you don't need it, but they don't need to use it. So over here, take my hand, so I'm in this lumbar flex position, in the seated position here, so it's going to make it very difficult for me to flex and extend through my lumbar spine. So I'm just take my hands out in front. So you can, there's a couple different options. You can do kind of more just outside the knees, walk them out forward. There's just different angles for you to train from. I kind of usually like to start kind of right in the middle, so think 6 or so inches out from the knees, or forward from the knees. From there, we're just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to work up into flexion. So I'm going to start about called our TL junction, which is kind of just above like where the belly button would be on the backside. And I'm just going to start from the bottom as much as I can. And then I'm just going to work all the way up my spine. Put myself into T-spine flexion. So a lot of people tend to spend a whole lot of time, right? And the same thing like I just did. So I'm starting from lower T-spine. And I'm just trying to extend one vertebrae at a time. Get my elbows locked out. My shoulder blades in place. Try not to squeeze the shoulder blades. I just want to create as much thoracic extension as I can. You're not going to have a whole lot here, right? So we don't want to try to make sure we get more by trying to stick the butt out, trying to get more lumbar extension. I just want to try and lift my chest. I can show the logo of my shirt off in front of me. The shoulders locked in, feel that T-spine extension. And then from here, just work all the way back up. So start at the lower T-spine. Start flexing. Work back into thoracic flexion. Breathe. Okay, lower T-spine again. So start extending from the lower part of your back. And then just envision that there's like a little version of you walking up each individual segment. Within each segment, you're just trying to pull your spine away. Trying to drive your chest this way. Lift those shoulders, lift the collarbones, create some extension through the thoracic spine, squeeze, breathe. One more time, start lower T-spine. All the way back up. One more time back into extension. And then we'll change it up here. There. One more. Start lower. Work back all the way up. See if you can squeeze out a little bit more extension, a little bit more awareness now by the third rep. Try to lift the chest, lift those shoulders. Squeeze back, pack the chin, not just extend the cervical spine. Pack the chin, pull that chin towards you. Lift the shoulders, lift the chest. Breathe. And relax. Very good. Okay. There we'll go to our spine rotations, our spine cars. So if you have two blocks, bring both out. So you can use one between the knees, squeeze in between the glutes, or I'm sorry, squeeze in the glutes, squeeze between the knees. That just gives us stability through our lumbopelvic region. And I'm going to take the other block and I'm just going to hold it right to my chest. If you have one block, you can just use it from the chest. If you only have one block, you can use a pillow, something between your knees, something just to give you to squeeze onto. If you don't have anything to squeeze, that's okay. We just want to make sure we can create as much tension as possible, so we can focus as much of the rotation through the spine and as little through the hips as possible. What you can also do is you can go standing with a wide stance. The wider your stance, the more stable your body's going to feel. You have a larger base of support, so that's another option. Just to create tension through the lower body, and then you can work your spine cars from there. So in this case, we're just going to go knees squeeze together. You tuck or untuck your toes. I will have a tall kneeling posture with my block, bottom of my block right on top of my ribcage here. I'm just going to squeeze that block nice and tight. Keep my chin on my chest. Bring with two spine cars here. So staying squeeze through my glutes, right? So I want to flex as far forward as I can before my hips want to hinge back, right? So I don't want to move anything from waist down. Imagine your waist down, you're in like cement here. And we're only moving from about waist down, okay? Squeeze, create tension, hold down, rotate, lateral flex, extend one vertebrae at a time, just like we did. The T-spine cars and the cat-cow. From there on the extension, I will rotate, flex, hold down, and one more time that same way. Rotation, lateral flexion, extension one vertebrae at a time, get to the top, rotate, flex, pull through, and reverse. Rotate, flex. One vertebrae at a time, start the lower spine, work all the way back up. And now an extension. Pull the shoulder down if you feel like you're shrugging. Extension with rotation. Lateral flexion. Pull the elbows into your body. Come through that one more time. Rotate. Lateral flexion. Extension one vertebrae at a time. Get tall, get tall, get tall, get tall. Rotate. Lateral flexion. Elbows down. And relax. So those are called our T-spine cars, or just your spine car. It's the rotation of the spine. That's something that I recommend everybody do, at least on a low level every single day. But the more you do it, especially before you go upper and lower body strength workouts, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna move better, because the spine is what calms your nervous system. The more you can get that kind of alive and awake, the better everything else is going to feel. So let's go to a standing position now. So we're gonna go into what's called a shoulder abduction bill drill. So that's pulling our shoulders away from our midline, right? So if you spend a lot of time here, typing, driving, on a couch, in the chair, in a plane, right? We want to try to reverse that, open that up, get some kind of force into those tissues here. So I'm going to take my left hand. You could go from 90 degrees, but you can also do below 90 degrees. Above 90 degrees, you can also use your shoulder cars where you feel it's the most restricted. Here in this zone is what you could use as a guide to say, where should I do my shoulder or my tailbone front. If it all feels about the same, 90 degrees is perfectly fine. You take a split stance, so if my left arm is up on the wall, my right foot will be forward. I'll take that shoulder, kick the elbow right out to 90 degrees. And then I will lean slightly in and towards the wall, but also slightly forward to get a stretch for shoulder abductions. I should feel it right through the chest, kind of inside shoulder, or your pec minor, where your shoulder and your chest attach. Make sure you keep the ribs down, make sure you're not extending the lumbar spine excessively. And then I'll just lean forward as I breathe. 2 sets on each side. We'll take about 2 minutes, maybe not the full 2 minute here. We'll take about a minute and a half to stretch. Take 4 to 5 count in, 8 to 10 count out. Relax as deep as you can into that stretch. My Pale's contraction is driving my arm forward and into the wall. So it's kind of a diagonal drive into the wall. So I create tension, but I'm driving into the wall hard enough to, as if I was going to drag it forward, I would get that contraction as well, but without the movement, right? That's the isometric nature of the stretch. Pale's drives in and forward. Rails, I'm trying to pull back and away from the wall without my body moving. So the Pale's contraction for 10, max effort 10, rails 15 seconds. After the first set, if you want to shake it out, if you get tingles in your fingers, that's okay, it's normal. Shake it out, we'll reset it back up, and we'll do one more set, and then switch. So take a breath in. Full body contraction, start driving in and forward with that pec, so there's contraction with everything that you're stretching. We're at 30%, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and max effort 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the body still. Rails, contract the opposite side. So you're trying to pull back on that shoulder, squeeze the back side of that shoulder, trying to pull your arm away from the shoulder. Back and towards you for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. You want to come out of it for a second, get some blood flowing back in the fingers. You can start to get a tingle. Like I said, it's totally normal. It's just because your hand is above your heart. So now the blood is flowing this way, but it's a lot harder for it to flow back out, right? So we're just gonna switch. Not switch. We're gonna do one more, and then switch. So get reset. If you want to go different angles, slightly higher, slightly lower. If you find out a good spot, by all means, stay there. Ribs down, good core tension. Lean forward and slightly in towards the wall. Give yourself a good stretch. Take a breath in. Back that air down. Start driving arm in and towards the wall and forward. 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100%. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rails, pull that away. Keep the body still, walk it in. Make sure you're not arching the lower back. Backside shoulders pull back and towards you. Pull that arm away, pull that arm away, pull that arm away. Max up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Feel that chest open up. Very nice. So one thing you could also do if you're like a doorway, works well in the doorway, works well, that's what I call the doorway stretch, that's one way to refer to it. Or it'd be like a squat rack, something that's just solid and stretching down, that you can get here, get the stretch, Pales, ribs. Okay, touch the sides. Again, split stance, so I'm doing my right arm, my left foot is forward. Again, right side, left side may be different, so you may need to be at 90, you may need to be slightly higher, slightly lower, depending on your shoulder, depending on your body. A good full body contraction, touch the tailbone, ribs are down, and then move forward and in towards that wall. Give yourself a good upper body stretch. You can like in pec minor, kind of outer pec, inside shoulder. Sink deeper in that stretch. As you relax deeper, you may need to shift the body in more. You need to lift your arm up a little bit. Whatever's best for you. That's the best part about Kinstretch, because it's all based on what you need in your body. So it just takes time to find the stretch, breathe into it, and we'll load it up. Okay, we got 2 rounds here. Take a breath in. Start driving in and forward. 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50%, 60%, 70, 80, 90, and max effort 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rails, pull the back side of that shoulder. Gonna pull the forearm away from the wall, pull elbow back and in. Everything is driving back. Back side shoulder squeeze. Squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Shake it out a little bit. Get some blood flowing back to those fingers. So again, if you want to use a doorway, by all means, that's a great option for you. It's going to be solid. It's going to even allow that contraction in to be a little bit more solid. Now you don't have to worry about hand sliding forward. Let's go one more time. Reset. Get there, find it. Breathe into it. Lean into it. Open it up. Breathe. Workout in. 8 count out. The exhale is really where that stretch is going to increase. Breathe it out. Breathe it out. Smooth or slow. Okay, next inhale. Back there down. Start driving arm into the wall. And as if you're going to drag it forward. 20%. 30%. Keep building each second. 40. 50. 60. 70%. 80%. 90. And everything you got. 10. 9. 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now solidify the body and rails. Pull that shoulder away. Pull that shoulder away. Elbow, forearm, hand. Everything's trying to leave the wall. But pointing back on that shoulder. Keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. A little deeper if you want. Deep breath. And relax. Very good. Okay. The shoulders should be nice and open now, so now we can follow that up with some swimmer hovers. You've done these with us before, you know that you can do them from standing, you can do them from seated, you can do them from tall kneeling, collapsed kneeling, half kneeling, prone, laying on your stomach, collapsed quadruped where you're more here with your head around. You're on the block. Any real position, the more prone you become, the more challenging it's going to be. We're just going to follow today's spots, which is 3 swimmer hovers from the collapsing position. But again, any position that works best for you. And then I'll just walk us through it one step at a time. Just make sure you're nice, slow, controlled. Make sure you keep good full body contraction, good full body tension. Okay? Take a breath in. Solidify that torso, solidify the body. Make sure you got it behind you. Just a bit. So your hands come behind the head. Ribs down, core is engaged. Okay? Go elbows back, squeeze. Hands rotate off the head, so you're trying to pull away from the head. I'm now in my Y position. Ribs are down. Internally rotate. Swing those arms down. Reach back on extension. Palms are up. Bend those elbows. Bring my hands together as high ball on the back as I can. And relax. Okay? Reset. Elbows back. Through the shoulder blades. Hands pull up. Reach. Rotate. Keep squeezing back. Feel everything that we just opened up here as I squeeze back. Bend my elbows. Keep pressing my elbows back to the wall behind me. Hands are off my head. And I set down. That's 1. We got 2 more there. Exhale. Ribs stay down. Here we go. Elbows. Hands. Get to my Y. Keep pressing back. Swim the arms down. Max out my extensions. Use my shoulder blades. Go palms up. Hands come together on my back. Set down. Reset. Elbows. Hands. Reach. Rotate up. Keep driving those hands back. Elbows keep pressing back as I come behind my head. Touch down. Here we go. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Ribs down. Elbows drive back. Squeeze. Hands drive off the head. Slowly up to my Y position. Swim my hand over. Internally rotate. Squeeze my shoulder blades together. Palms come up. Shoulders are in extension. Elbows bend. Hands come together on my back. Last one here. Inhale. Exhale. Sit the core. Elbows squeeze. Hands come off the low back. Reach back. Shoulder extension. Palms are up. Elbows are locked. Swing them up. This is external rotation. Continuing to try to drive back to the wall. elbows bend, hands come behind my head, squeeze it, and relax. So again, we spent a lot of time here. We also want the time reversing the posture. Swimmers are a great option for that. Because now we're working shoulder and shoulder blades together, doing that posterior contraction there. So we get some cars, we get some pillars and rails, open up the chest. We spend a lot of time in the short position here, and then we're following it up with some swimmers. So again, if you want to, after this video is over, if you want to just follow it up with more cars, or we run pillars and rails, and more swimmers, by all means do so. The more input you put into the tissues that don't loosen up, the better you're going to feel, better shoulder you're going to feel, better you perform in all of your activities. So thank you for joining me in today's 25-minute upper body fitness class. Hope to see you up there.